Welcome back, MVP. Good old Streebo here with you again in the calendar year 2013. Yes, we all survived the apocalypse, and I'm back to bring you another post-viewing movie thought review. As I just left from seeing Texas Chainsaw 3 D in the theater, I thought I'd give you a really quick spoiler-free synopsis on the film. It's 2013. Texas Chainsaw 3D is the first big major horror release of the new season, and it took in #1 at the box office, which is a great start. So what more can you say about that? Though in its second week it did drop off considerably. I think it came in at #8, so from 1 to 8 is quite a drop off. But that opening weekend shows that people want to see classic horror films. They want to be scared. They want to see, you know, just a solid slasher flick, and that's essentially what this is. What you get with Texas Chainsaw 3D is essentially a direct sequel to the 1974 masterpiece by Tobe Hooper and friends. It essentially the beginning of the movie picks up after a brief introduction utilizing footage from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It literally picks up from the end of the movie itself and leads into the events of what happens next. And then, boom, we flash forward to years later, and we see how it all ties in together as this young girl traces her family heritage back to Texas and the site of the infamous Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Though she doesn't know anything about all that until she gets there. Of course, they run into Leatherface along the way. It's just an essentially a classic dead teenagers type film. I mean, a total throwback to the realms of the 80s. Good classic, good hardcore gore provided by Robert Kurtzman of K&B Effects. There's not a whole lot going on in terms of surprises or suspense, so to speak. But, you know, if you just want to see a slasher film with some dead teenagers, you know, several couples getting killed in brutal ways, then definitely check it out. You know, on the Streebo Slasher Slats, there are tons of eviscerations, lots of chainsaw attacks, people being sawed in half, heads cut off, limbs cut off, fingers chopped off, you know, lots of good stuff. Somebody, you know, Cuisinarted, so all kinds of crazy things going on. And that's essentially what you're going to get. No huge major twists and turns, nothing too mind-bending. It's not beyond the black rainbow. It's Texas Chainsaw. It's a slasher film. It's pretty simple. On the Streebo Screamometer, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which is a decent rating if you're looking for just a kind of a throwback horror with a slasher on the loose and, you know, the final girl plotline playing its way out. Then this is what you're going to want to see with some more Leatherface action. As an aside note, I do want to mention that they kind of explain so much of the backstory to Leatherface and the family. I think it kind of takes away from the mystique that you need to make these kind of things really uber creepy. And they kind of missed out on the original. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a slasher film so much, but it's an urban horror, a rural horror, excuse me. About the horrors of rural America. You know, the original story was loosely based on the exploits of Ed Gein. So I think they lost the goal, the sight of the original film, which was to explore the aberrations and bring you up close to that of rural horror, rural American horror. And they don't do that quite so much in this. This is just a kind of a slasher film by the numbers, but it works. I say check it out. 6 out of 10 on the Streebo Screamometer scale, 3 out of 5 on the standard 5-star scale. So there you go. If you want a more in-depth review, come check us out at MVP Mutant Radio over on mutantville.com. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes. We're going to do a full spoiler episode rundown of Texas Chainsaw Massacre later this week. So until then, this is Streebo. This has been your 60-second post-viewing thoughts on Texas Chainsaw 3D. Find me at mutantville.com.
You're watching Mutant TV.